You're watching News Central now on News Central Television with me, Blessings Musugu. The top stories at this hour. Barring any last-minute changes, President Bola Tinubu to present 2025 budget proposal to National Assembly at noon. National Bureau of Statistics says Nigerians pay more than 2.23 trillion naira in ransom between May 2023 and April 2024. Ugandan court asks government to pay victims of war crimes reparations. We have the details in a moment. Motorists in parts of Lagos State have been stranded now in traffic for several hours following a major gridlock this morning. And the congestion, which appears to have started around the Berger axis of Lagos, was reportedly triggered by an accident on the Kara Bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway heading out of Lagos. News Central's correspondent Bernard Akede is live at the scene of the accident with more details. Hello, Bernard. Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, Bernard, if you can hear me, can you tell us what has been the situation so far? What have you been able to gather from the scene?
All right, Blessings. I'll try to quickly explain. Now, eventually, the officials on ground have allowed traffic to begin to flow. At about 12 noon is when traffic started flowing, but there was a huge standstill here. Every vehicle heading out of Lagos on the Kara Bridge, out of Lagos on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway was put on a standstill, and I'll explain why. Now, let me see if I can just turn around. First of all, now I'll swing around and you see what's behind you. There's a trailer here just behind the camera. You'll get to see it very soon. Now it's carrying iron sheets. That trailer had an accident. These iron sheets fell onto the road. You may see some of those clips eventually. But before that happened, there's a container behind. Unfortunately, because traffic is now moving, we're unable to see it, but we'll do our best to see if we can catch it. The information I got is that the trailer carrying a container fell on the road. The container eventually fell onto the road, causing traffic at about midnight earlier this morning. Container carrying, I think, pasta products, macaroni, based on what I was told. Sadly, that accident caused 4 casualties. All that have been taken care of by the authorities. The police are on it based on what I have been told. But it was because of that particular accident that another one happened, the one carrying the iron sheets that I showed you earlier. So this first accident with the trailer caused this second accident with the iron sheets. So far, information reaching us has it that there has been 4 casualties from this particular multiple accident, so to speak. I was also told that the driver of the initial trailer has been held down. They don't have information as to who exactly owns the container that caused the initial accident. I've tried to reach out to officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC. They've declined speaking on camera. They've also declined speaking to me. They've said we should go to their office and see if we can get word from the public relations officer over there. But basically, the ripple effect of this multiple accident that we've had is what has affected most parts of Lagos this morning, where people have had to stay for several hours on the road. And I personally was a victim of that, leaving the island by 6 a.m. and then eventually getting to the office in Ogba at about 10 a.m., almost 4 hours on the road. And I'm sure several road users in Lagos also have been affected by this particular accident. But finally, thank goodness that the road is clear now. At least part of the road is clear anyway, and traffic is now flowing. By my calculations, we're still going to feel the impact of this accident and this roadblock for maybe another 1 or 2 hours before eventually all of this traffic that we're seeing begins to flow freely. But so far, so good, Blessings. That's all the information we've been able to gather on Kara Bridge this morning concerning this accident.
Okay, thank you for an extensive explanation, Bernard. I also want to ask, are there any linking roads that might be affected by the influx of the traffic? Because as you can see, they're all moving now in one direction into Lagos, I suppose. So are there linking roads that people should be wary of in the next 1 to 2 hours?
Well, that's a good question. This is leading out of Lagos, by the way. But I think, first of all, heading towards Berger, if people who can avoid that should do that. People heading out of Lagos will probably have a tough time getting out of Lagos, leading towards Kara Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. People trying to access places like Redemption Camp also on the expressway, people trying to access places like 7-Up Junction, heading towards Bega, towards Ojodu, those areas. And we know that there are a lot of roads that interlock and are interjoining towards these particular places I've mentioned. So people who are going to be using these interlocking, or let's say web-like connection of roads, will definitely be affected for the next couple of hours. But now that it started moving slowly, we're hoping that the roads will be open. But again, by my calculations, I'm guessing probably in the next 2 hours, within now and the next 2 hours, we will still be witnessing some kind of gridlock around this area. But eventually after that, then, we should be able to express, or rather experience, some free-flowing traffic.
All right, Bernard Akede, thank you so much, and please do stay safe. Hopefully you don't experience more traffic on your way back to the office. That's our new central correspondent, Bernard Akede, giving us an update on the accident on Kara Bridge that led to hours of gridlock. But thankfully, as you saw, the traffic is now clearing up, although he did mention that we will still feel the impact for the next 1 to 2 hours. Now, News Central now continues where in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu is set to present the 2025 budget proposal to the National Assembly on Wednesday. This will mark President Tinubu's second full budget presentation since assuming office in May 2023. It will be recalled that on the 3rd of December, the Senate approved the 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, projecting a total spending of 47.9 trillion naira. The approved framework includes a new borrowing plan of 9.22 trillion naira, comprising domestic and foreign loans. Nigerians are hopeful that the proposed budget will provide relief amid the country's ongoing economic challenges. Very quickly, to speak on this, we have Joshua Imaraya, our correspondent in the FCT, who's currently in the National Assembly. Joshua, good afternoon. If you can hear me, what's the current situation at the National Assembly? Has the budget presentation fully commenced?
Good morning, I am currently at the National Assembly, and we are still expecting the presence of the President of the Republic of Nigeria, who is yet to arrive. We are there standing waiting for the President to arrive. But however, we've seen the arrival of some top government officials, governors in the state, particularly the Kogi State Governor, Governor Usman Ododo, as well as the Governor of the State, who came in the company of the police. Some other senior lawmakers. The Senate has closed session, and they moved to the bigger chamber where they'll be doing the reading and expecting the president to grace their gracing with his presence at the chambers here. And the chambers by my right hand side is where they'll be sitting. I can confirm to you today, as I speak, that the Senate has retired from the chambers down to the chamber of the well-carpeted chambers where they get the president. Some other lawmakers have arrived there. Atmosphere here, the packed with security men who are standing there to ensure peace and security is here. And that is what atmosphere is here. And the happiness of things here has been currently observed.
All right, Joshua Murray, thank you so much. What we see on screen are the live pictures and videos from the National Assembly. As Joshua clearly stated, we're still waiting for the budget presentation to continue or to commence. But definitely, Joshua, will be looking to you to give us more information as the event unfolds. And in general, Nigerians are very hopeful that this budget is going to be more favorable, especially to the common man. Once again, thank you so much, Joshua Murray, our FCT correspondent, for the update. Now, staying with the Parliament, the Senate has advanced a bill to ban the use of foreign currencies for payments in Nigeria. Sponsored by Senator Ned Nwoko, the bill proposes amending the Central Bank Act of 2007 to ensure all transactions, including salaries, are conducted in naira. Senator Nwoko says reliance on foreign currencies like the dollar and the pound undermines the naira's value and worsens economic challenges. He described the practice as a colonial relic that threatens Nigeria's economic independence. The proposed law aims to promote the local currency and strengthen the country's financial system. The bill has now scaled its first reading in the Senate. Now, earlier on, Ni Duale, the founding partner, Duale Ovia and Alex Adedipe law firm, spoke to us on this development.
Basically, something that we saw as early as October, So we're not sure exactly what was passed today by the Senate. But I think the first thing is that it's going to have both positive and negative effects on the economy. And the reason why I say that is Nigeria right now and for past few years, what you see is that people are holding dollars as a hedge against inflation to basically deal with whatever the cost pool inflation that we have in Nigeria is. So what I think is that in terms of what the effect will be, you will find a better reliance in terms of people utilizing the naira, hopefully, and then obviously we'll be able to move away from dollarization of our economy as we currently see. But in the long run, essentially what we'll see is that if this is properly effected and implemented, it will have the effect of reducing demand on foreign currencies and then basically help to shore up the value of the naira.
Now, the Nigerian Senate has passed the 2014 Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Bill. The passage followed the consideration of a report of the Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions presented by Committee Chairman Senator Adetokunbo Abiru during Tuesday's plenary session. We have the details in this report.
Abiru, who presented the report, told his colleagues that its proposition sought to essentially consolidate various existing legislations regulating the business of insurance in the country. The federal lawmaker representing Lagos East Senatorial District noted that another major objective of the bill was to enable Nigerians have a say in determining a better future for themselves.
After the public hearing, the committee painstakingly analyzed the presentations made at the public hearing by some key stakeholders, and some of the summary will include that on the whole, the inputs made on the proposed bill as recommended by the committee for the approval of the Senate will go a long way in providing a comprehensive legal framework for the regulation and supervision of all manner of insurance businesses in Nigeria in order to ensure that the industry is able to successfully compete on a global level and also improve international competitiveness of Nigeria's insurance industry.
In their various contributions, senators voiced their concerns over the proposed minimum capital requirement of 35 billion naira for reinsurance businesses. They argued that the status quo should be maintained due to the prevailing economic dynamics in the country.
My amendment is that in view of the fact that subsequent increase in the insurance capital base have been leading to the death of insurance company in Nigeria, and reflective on the economy, I propose that the existing capital base of Nigeria Insurance Company, which is not even backed up by any law so far, should be retained, rather than going to 45 billion.
Insurance companies ought to even be bigger. They ought to be bigger than even banks. Insurance companies actually even own banks.
Ruling on the passage, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Jibrin Barau, who presided over the session, said this bill would help inspire a turnaround for the Nigerian insurance industry.
Of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, the National Insurance Corporation of Nigeria Act Cap 54N, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, the Nigerian Reinsurance Corporation Act Cap N131, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for a comprehensive legal and regulatory framework for insurance business in Nigeria and for related matters 2024, third reading taken and passed, will really help in reshaping our economy for the better.
According to the sponsor of the bill, Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, one major highlight is that it will help create a robust legal and regulatory framework for the insurance sector, helping it to contribute positively to Nigeria's financial ecosystem.